Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome back to the Time Traveling Toy Collector, and my latest video is a review of the Hero Collector USS Enterprise. No A, no B, no C, no D, no E. This is the original, you might say. Yeah, this is the USS Enterprise as it first appeared on our television sets back in the late 1960s. This is before, well, in theory, this is before any refits. Anyone who follows Star Trek Discovery will know that actually this is after a bit of a refit, because we do have a new version of the USS Enterprise that was introduced into the Star Trek timeline during the adventures of the USS Discovery crew in their second season, and we'll have a look at that variation of the USS Enterprise in the near future. But this is the classic sleek version of the USS Enterprise. Again, it's from the XL range, produced by Eaglemoss and Hero Collector, and I have to say they have a wonderful set of designers and technicians there to produce high quality models. I'm sure I've mentioned it elsewhere. I did have, and do have somewhere, the 1970s, I think it is, dinky toy version of the USS Enterprise, but that's a die-cast, rattly, poorly proportioned toy for kids to bash about, crawling around on their hands and knees in the dirt of the 1970s. This is not that. This is not a bash me about when you're fighting the Klingons kind of model by any stretch of the imagination. This is, again, die cast and plastic with some translucent elements, beautifully detailed. Not as much panel detailing as we've seen on some of the other XL craft, but still a real tribute to the original model upon which it is based. I'll go in a bit closer shortly, but just as we're looking over it, you'll have seen I dropped a couple of initial photos at the top of the video, and I will put a few additional ones in at the end. These craft really do lend themselves well for toy photography, so anyone who's a particular fan of model photography or toy photography, the Hero Collector Eaglemoss range of starships, the XL range of starships, really do translate beautifully in front of the camera. So a quick scan of this one, you can see the slightly less technologically advanced nacelles here. We've got the bussard collectors as ever, detailed in transparent plastic. Similarly, we've got the deflector dish, which is coming around shortly, which is beautifully crafted there. Again, bit of a vulnerable point. So far, touch wood, I haven't had any accidents with it, but I can see how this would not be a part of the model that would stand up to too much robust handling. So again, just to reiterate, although this is the Time Traveling Toy Collector, this isn't necessarily a toy. This isn't about playability, this is about displayability. And from a displayability point of view, it is beautiful. The detailing that you can see, we have the running lights marked out red this side, green this side, a bit of a trend across the Enterprise designs, particularly the Constitution class, which is the class of the vessel we're looking at here. The detailing along the drive section, you can see the numerous windows, and there's the Shuttle Bay there, beautifully caught. The standard Federation detailing around the nacelles and around the main drive section, as well as the standard illustrations and registry on the saucer section. I'm going to magically transition this so that I can pause the turntable so that I can get the craft in hand and I can give you a bit more of a closer inspection. So bear with me and let's see if I can work the magic. Excellent. So I managed to not send the Enterprise hurtling around the sun in a slingshot and therefore through time. Just before I pick it up, which is it always sends a chill through me because I'm convinced I'm going to drop it, I'll just reiterate the point. This is a display model, and it's sturdy, but it has fragile elements. So again, the deflector array here, I wouldn't want to give that too much of a knock or a nudge, and it has got a nice pointy bit on it, so be careful with that. Similarly, the struts attached to the nacelles, I've not had any issues with it on this model. I have had issues with another model, and we'll talk about that in the fullness of time. But when picking it up, you'll want to pick it up under the drive section and under the saucer section to make sure it's well supported. It would be very, very easy for this to fall. Okay, so on that note, I'm now going to endeavour to pick it up without letting it fall. There we go. So here we have the USS Enterprise as it first appeared on the screens of televisions. That's me in geostationary orbit. You can see, as mentioned, the detailing on the hull section, as well as the nacelles and the struts, really good. Excellent detailing under there. You can see what is presumably the captain's yacht there. The paintwork is exceptional. The moulding on the actual model itself is fantastic. Let's flip it around and have a look at the saucer. The saucer itself, relatively detailing free apart from the bridge, which is, to be fair, true to the period and true to the model of its time. There wasn't a huge amount. We can see, as I mentioned, the running lights. There are some windows. There are some windows and light built into the front of the saucer section. We can see there. We can also see, if we move around to the back, the detailing along the nacelles there, particularly some of the engineering work that's here. We can also focus in on the shuttle bay here and the associated demarcated areas there. On the old Corgi model, those of you who've had one knows, apologies for the blurriness, it'll refocus. The shuttle bay doors were here, totally inaccurately, with an oversized orange blob that rather neatly matched the colours of the transparent plastic being used for the bussard collectors on the nacelles. Anyway, let me pop this. I mean, you can see that the detailing is really excellent, but let me pop this back in its cradle. Hero Collector always give us a very what looks like a very lightweight cradle, and the flip side of that is I'm always convinced I'm going to see the ship go hurtling down because its centre of gravity feels slightly off. I'm sure that's all in my head, as I've not heard anyone or read anyone reporting that happening on a routine basis. Again, these are not cheap. They're not a cheap whim buy. So, is it worth adding the Hero Collector USS Enterprise XL from the classic series into your collection? Well, I would say yes. I would say it's a superb rendition of the vessel. It's very evocative of the period of the 1960s when it was created, reflecting the 23rd century. The detailing is excellent, if a little lacking to what we may see in some of the other ships, but it is model accurate. So it's a debate to have with yourself whether you think that you'd expect more detailing on this particular iteration of the Enterprise than you actually get. Personally, I really love the ship. It looks very nice when parked alongside its fellow ships of the line, and at some point when I've gone through a few more of those, I might line them up and we can have a bit of a look at that. So yeah, In terms of a review of this, I would have to give this well, I don't even know what we could give it in terms of a grading. A warp factor 5 out of 5 to be really cliched, or maybe 5 Spocks. Call it what you like. Let me know in the comments how you want me to grade things like this. If you even want me to. You probably don't. You don't care. You just want to look at the ships and know if it's worth getting. My answer is yes, it's worth getting. But again, it comes with the caveat: keep it safe, keep it looked after. Do not drop it. It will not survive. The deflector shields will not hold, would be my advice. It is, as I've mentioned, a solid ship, but you can feel that it would not stand up to too much poor treatment, shall we say. So it definitely isn't a toy to play with. I know most of you know that, but I can reiterate, it's not for play purposes. So thanks for listening. If you found this remotely interesting or in any way useful in terms of deciding whether or not it's something you want to buy and add to your own collection, do hit that thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Similarly, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And also, why not give me a follow on Instagram at Time Travelling Toy Collector, where you can see many more shots of these ships, other ships, different kinds of toys from across time, and whether you're into Transformers or Doctor Who or well, anything really. Have a follow, have a look, and welcome to the toy community. Anyway, I'm going to sign out and say, do remember that a thing of beauty is a toy forever. Bye for now. One to beam up.